Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. I cannot believe we are just a few days away from Thanksgiving, which means November's almost over, then it's gonna be December, and then we're gonna be saying goodbye to 2025. How quickly the year has passed. I'm so excited about our episode this evening. So, since the Consummate Host launched on March 1st of 2025, my birthday, mark your calendars. Since the Consummate Host launched on March 1st, our most popular video with over 12,000 views to date and over 400 watch hours was our home fragrance video. So today we are going to be doing another chapter in our holiday series. So we're going to be talking about holiday home fragrancing. So we've got 5 of my favorite techniques to share with you, all centered around creating just beautiful aromas for the home that are related to the holidays. Just continuing to give you ways to welcome your guests into the home and create those magical and special experiences that will be memorable for both you and your guests. Now, before we get started, I've got to give a shout out because if you remember in last week's episode, I mentioned I'm going to be spending the holidays in Europe. So far, Austria, Italy, Belgium, and Germany. But as always, I like to reach out to my subscribers, reach out to my audience because I love suggestions from people that have had experiences. And I'm going to give a huge shout out to one of my subscribers, Phil, who sent me a direct message and recommended a restaurant in Vienna. Vienna is my first stop on this trip. And the name of this restaurant is Meisel und Schaden. I'm sure I'm not saying that correctly. I do not speak German. But anyway, their claim is that they want to make the best schnitzel in the world. And I was looking at their reviews, looking at the restaurant, amazing service, beautiful, beautiful setting. So I am going to be making a reservation to have dinner there. And again, thanks to Phil, my subscriber, for sending me that suggestion. And now let's talk about some amazing ways to create home fragrance for the holidays. Okay, so the first home fragrance DIY trick I'm going to share with you is so simple. It actually comes from my days, kind of back in the early 2000s, when I was doing primarily interior design and also doing a lot of work in staging homes. So when we would stage a home to sell it, of course, you want it to smell good when people come in. So this is a little trick I used then, and it's perfect now, especially for the holidays. Very simple. You take vanilla extract and a glass ramekin, okay? And from there, you're gonna pour about a 1/4 inch into the base of the ramekin. Once you've done that, you are going to pop this ramekin into a 300-degree oven. So you just set your oven for bake at 300 degrees and leave it in for about an hour. Within 15 minutes, your house smells like you are baking homemade cookies. So this was one of the little tricks we did when we were staging homes. Keep in mind though, if your guests come in and smell this, they're gonna be wanting a cookie. So you might wanna have some cookies ready, but if you just wanna make your house smell delicious and yummy and welcoming, vanilla into make sure it's a glass ramekin, you don't want plastic, it'll melt. Pop it into the oven, 300 degrees, your house is gonna smell amazing. Okay, so the second home fragrance DIY I'm gonna share, again, here's another super, super simple. It almost seems so obvious, but the impact it can have is amazing. So basically, you're gonna need 2 things. You're going to need an ornament, a Christmas ornament that's made out of some sort of a natural fiber or an absorbent fiber like wood or raffia, or these even have like a little pine cone on them, but you need something that's natural and absorbent. So you're gonna take an ornament. So I got these, I thought these were really adorable. They're wooden beads that make like a little wreath. And then I also got these little bells. These are like a raffia and jute bell, but these are all natural ingredients. Then you're going to take an essential oil fragrance. So I decided for these, now because of the popularity of essential oils, they're doing some really interesting blends. So I decided to try, this one is salted coconut mahogany. So basically, you just take your essential oil or your essential oil mixture, and you're just gonna saturate the ornaments with your oil. And I know this seems kind of maybe obvious, but let me tell you, what we're making here are like these powerful little scent bombs that we can put on our tree. And even though it's simple, when you actually get them onto the tree, as I said, the impact of their fragrance is amazing. Every time I walk by my tree, I smell these, and it's so lovely. And I'd like to say again, you know what? I was preparing for this episode in the market buying my ingredients, and I actually ran into my niece who was shopping at the same time. And I was telling her, and of course this was like in the middle of the day, you know, out the door, mustache not styled, feeling rough, not wanting to run into anybody that I knew. And of course I run into my niece, but started explaining to her that I was gonna do a holiday fragrance episode because my original fragrance episode was so popular. And she immediately responded and said, I loved your fragrance episode, and the reason it's so popular is retail fragrances, especially quality fragrances, are so expensive. And the ones that aren't expensive are made with chemical components and elements that you don't want to be smelling. So what I was going to say to this is, everything we're using in today's episode is some sort of a natural element. It's either an essential oil or a fruit or you know, something natural. So we're creating fragrances that are you know, scent friendly, smell amazing, and aren't going to have any kind of residual chemical effects. So we've soaked our ornaments in this essential oil mixture. Now all you have to do is put them on the tree and enjoy. So our third DIY home fragrance trick is our pillow mist or room spray. So if you remember from our previous home fragrance episode, we talked about creating a home mist or a home pillow spray. Very easy, 3 ingredients. All you're gonna need is distilled water, vodka, and your essential oil. And so it's 8 ounces of distilled water, it's a tablespoon of vodka, and it's 1/4 of a teaspoon of essential oil. And the nice thing about this is you can pick your essential oil that matches whatever you want your scent to be. It can be pine, it can be cinnamon, it can be one of the mixtures like we just did for our ornaments. But very easy, very affordable, and you can keep your house smelling delicious all holiday season. So our 4th technique is one of my absolute favorites because it's so effective and it puts such a celebrational fragrance into the air of the home that just says holidays. So we're going to do a simmer pot, a stovetop simmer pot that will have the entire house smelling just delicious and wonderful. What I also love about this too, like I was talking about earlier, all natural ingredients. So for the simmer pot that we're doing today, we're gonna be using apple, we're gonna be using orange, we're gonna be using cinnamon sticks, cranberries, cloves, and nutmeg. And after we make our simmer pot, I am going to show you a wonderful holiday gift you can make based on the concept. That can be a standalone gift, or if you have guests to your home that notice how amazing your homes smell, this can be your fond farewell to give them. So let's do our simmer pots. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna wanna do is go ahead and core the apple. So we're gonna cut that out, cut that middle part out of our apple. We don't want that little hard stem to go into our mix, even though it's just for fragrance, but still it's better to kind of get that out. And once that's done, go ahead and just slice your apple into, try to get as thin a slices as possible. Okay, once the apple's sliced, let's go ahead and get our orange cut into slices. So we'll cut those ends off also. And like the apple, let's go for as small a slices as possible. All right, so you're gonna take your saucepan. Make sure you've got a saucepan with a lid. And we're gonna start with a quart of water in the saucepan. So there, we're just gonna go ahead and add all of our fruit slices into the water. Okay, once we've got our fruit slices in, we're gonna go ahead and put in 6 cinnamon sticks. We're gonna add a half a cup of cranberries, 2 tablespoons of nutmeg, and 2 tablespoons of cloves. All right, once we have all our ingredients in, just give that a good stir. Actually, it looks delicious. All right, make sure everything is mixed up, and then we're gonna cover it. We've got it on high, and we're gonna bring it to a boil, and then as soon as it reaches a rolling boil, then we're gonna turn it all the way down to low so that it will just simmer. And once we get to the boil, we'll take the lid off. All right, so while we're waiting for our simmer pot to start boiling, I'm gonna share with you a way that you can create a lovely holiday gift, or as always, we talk about warm welcomes, magic moments, fond farewells. This makes a wonderful fond farewell to send home with a guest. So same ingredients, but what you do is you dehydrate your fruits. And very easy to do. I use my little stovetop oven, which has an air fryer feature. So you want to put your air fryer on the lowest temperature setting you can. Mine is 130. I know there's a little variation with air fryers, but on my particular fryer, the lowest setting is 130. So you want to slice the fruit as thin as possible. So for these, I actually used a mandolin so I could get a very, very fine slice. It makes it dehydrate more effectively. So you pop these in the air fryer. So the maximum time limit on my air fryer is 25 minutes. So I had to do 25 minutes 3 times, so 50, 60, 75 minutes total, and that got my apple slices nice and crisp, my orange slices nice and crisp, and my cranberries nice and dried out. Of course, once these go back in the water, they will rehydrate so that all of those scent qualities will come into or back into the simmer pot. But the reason we do this is you can create a gift that won't spoil. You know, if you put fresh orange slices in, of course, they're not gonna last as a gift. So now what we do is we take our mason jar. I like to start with our spice ingredients. So I put the cloves in first, then the nutmeg. Then it's kind of nice to layer in our orange slices. And this is such a colorful gift. I love it. It just feels so holiday to me. And it smells amazing while you're putting it together, so that's like a little bonus. Then we can put our apple slices in here. All right, we're gonna add our cinnamon sticks. Kind of put those around the edge because they're kind of long. Put our cinnamon sticks in. And last, we'll put in our cranberries. Another thing that's really great about these is you can make these up and just have them at the ready for the holidays. And again, since everything is dehydrated, nothing's gonna go bad. So I'm gonna do one more little detail. I bought kind of a variety of these holiday type prints. So this is kind of a classic, just like a traditional green, kind of a Scottish plaid. So I am going to cut a circle of this fabric out. Everybody remember what these are? Remember in our earlier episodes when we were doing a little bit of sewing, these are pinking shears. So you'll need to grab your pinking shears to do this. Okay, so go ahead and put the top of the jar on first, and then the fabric over that. Put that on. Okay, and so our finishing touch is I got a piece of gold curling ribbon. So we are going to get these little miniature ornaments. Okay, so now the kitchen is smelling amazing because we brought all of the ingredients in our simmer pot to a boil, and now we're down to a simmer. And what's wonderful about this is you can reuse this for several days. You only want to keep it at the simmer level, and then as the water goes down, you can just keep adding water to it so you can enjoy your simmer pot for many, many days. So this smells amazing. And now we have created this lovely takeaway for your guests. It's got all of those beautiful ingredients in it. All they need to do is add this to water, bring it to a boil, bring it down to simmer, and they can enjoy the same amazing fragrance in their home that they experienced in yours. Okay, so our fifth and final home fragrance technique is going to be making a gelatin-based room odorizer. So this is great to have around the house for the holidays, and this can also be a great gift to give away as well. So what you're going to need is you're going to need unflavored gelatin. You're going to need your essential oils in whatever flavors you want or whatever scents you want for your home. And then if you want, I prefer it, if you want, you'll need a little bit of food coloring so you can put some color into the mixture. So I'm using 12-ounce mason jars. You want to make sure that you use a wide mouth jar. You don't want a narrow mouth, you want a wide mouth because that allows more of the aroma to come out of the jar. So for a 12-ounce mason jar, these packets, this is our gelatin powder, these packets are 1/4 ounce. So I'm going to use 2 packets per jar, so we have a 1/2 ounce of gelatin powder in each of the jars. Okay, so once we have our 1/2 ounce of gelatin powder into each jar, we're gonna go ahead and fill the jar up with hot tap water. You don't need to boil the water, you don't have to microwave it, just the hottest you can out of the tap will fill the jar with hot tap water. Once we have our jars full, we're gonna take our essential oils, and I decided I'm gonna do one in pine, and I'm gonna do the other in cinnamon. Those are the 2 fragrances I'm gonna do. So you wanna put about 30 drops in each of the jars. So in my pine fragrance, I'm gonna add a little bit of green food coloring. And in my cinnamon fragrance, I'm gonna add a little bit of red food coloring. And now we'll go ahead and stir those really good. Okay, once you have your mixtures done, you're gonna go ahead and put the lids back on them. And now we're gonna take these and we're gonna pop them in the fridge and we're gonna let them sit for a couple of hours. Make sure you put the lids on because you don't want the inside of your fridge smelling like pine or cinnamon might be okay, but you don't want pine in the fridge. So make sure you have the lids on. So we're gonna put these in the fridge. Okay, so now our gelatin has set up. And as you can see, makes a nice, refreshing presentation for a way of bringing fragrance into the home. So if these are gonna go directly into your home, what you will wanna do is you'll want to take the tops of the jars off, only use the ring, And then cut out your circles of fabric, just like we did for the simmer pot gift mixture. Cut your circles out, put them over the top of your jar, put the ring back on, and then the fabric allows that really nice fragrance and aroma to come out of the jar. So like I said, if you're gonna have them around the house, you only want the fabric. If you're going to give them as a gift, go ahead and put the top of the lid onto the jar. That way it contains the fragrance, and then put the fabric over the lid. And then when you give it as a gift, just let them know when they're ready to use it. All they have to do is take the lid off, remove the top of the jar, and have just the fabric, and you can show them yours as an example. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, it's always a pleasure to welcome you into the home, welcome you into the kitchen, and share our ideas with you. I hope some of our holiday home fragrance ideas have inspired you. Be sure and keep watching, because next week we're going to do our third installation in our holiday series, and we're going to be doing a really fun holiday wreath. And once we get through next episode, we're moving into two very special holiday dinner events that we're going to be sharing with you. One here in my home, and the other, which is the premiere event of our Entre Copas, our Between the Cups experiential dining events. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It was a pleasure having you here today, and we'll see you next week.